As a rheumatologist, I see people who think joint pain is just a part of getting older. But what if a major trigger for your agony is in a bottle you use daily, believing it's a healthy choice? What the food industry sold as heart healthy might be the very thing inflaming your joints. Stay with me, and I'll explain why. That chronic, nagging pain you feel every single day, the stiffness in your hands when you wake up, the sharp ache in your knees when you climb the stairs, the feeling that your own body is holding you back from living your life is a reality for millions. Many people simply accept this as their new normal, a burden that comes with celebrating more birthdays. They adapt, they move a little slower, and they give up on activities they once loved, assuming there is no other way forward. This sense of resignation is something I see far too often in my practice. But I need you to question that resignation. While aging is certainly a factor in joint health, it is not a life sentence of inevitable, worsening pain. The true culprit, the silent antagonist working behind the scenes, is a condition called chronic low-grade inflammation. This is not the acute, helpful inflammation you experience when you get a cut or a sprain. This is a much more sinister, persistent state of alert that wears your body down over time, and its favorite target is often your vulnerable joints. Imagine a very low fire constantly smoldering inside your body. It never erupts into a huge blaze, but it never goes out either. This slow-burning fire generates constant heat and stress, and over years, it begins to cook your sensitive tissues, particularly the delicate cartilage that cushions your joints. This is what chronic inflammation does. It slowly but surely degrades your joint structures, leading to the stiffness, swelling, and persistent pain you feel every single day, turning simple movements into painful chores. Now, consider what fuels this internal fire. The single most significant source of fuel for chronic inflammation comes directly from your diet. The foods and ingredients you consume every day can either act as a powerful fire extinguisher, helping to calm the flames, or they can act like gasoline, causing the smoldering embers to flare up significantly. You hold a tremendous amount of power over this process, based entirely on what you choose to put on your plate and, more importantly, what you choose to cook with. The challenge is that many modern processed foods are incredibly even when their packaging is covered in health claims and reassuring labels. They are designed for a long shelf life and for taste, but not for the long-term health of your joints. This creates a dangerous landscape for consumers, who are often unknowingly feeding the very inflammation that causes their daily suffering. But understanding this is the first step toward taking back control and charting a new path. The key to extinguishing this fire and reclaiming your comfort and mobility begins with identifying and eliminating the primary source of inflammatory fuel from your diet. It's a single category of ingredient that has become so common, so ubiquitous in our food supply, that most people don't even think to question it. The control you seek is closer than you think, starting with a fundamental change to one of the most basic items in your kitchen pantry. To understand how we got into this situation, we need to go back in time to the 1970s and 1980s. Health authorities and media campaigns relentlessly demonized saturated fats. Butter, lard, coconut oil, and other traditional fats were branded as public enemies, blamed for clogging arteries and causing heart disease. Consumers were taught to fear these natural fats and to seek out alternatives that were supposedly much healthier. In response to this public health push, the food industry needed a replacement. They found it in the form of inexpensive, mass-produced vegetable oils extracted from seeds. Oils from soybeans, corn, sunflower, and safflower seeds were heavily marketed as the heart-healthy alternative. They were promoted as being low in dreaded saturated fat and became the new gold standard for cooking, baking, and food manufacturing. This was a massive shift in the Western diet. But was this switch truly beneficial for our overall health? Or did we, in our rush to solve one perceived problem, inadvertently create another, more silent and insidious one? While the focus was entirely on cardiovascular health, the profound impact these new industrial oils would have on the body's inflammatory pathways was largely ignored. We were conducting a massive, uncontrolled nutritional experiment on the population, and the long-term results were not yet known. The critical difference lies in the chemical stability and processing of these oils. Traditional fats like butter and lard are relatively stable. Industrial seed oils, on the other hand, are polyunsaturated, which means they are chemically unstable and prone to oxidation, especially when heated. Their extraction process often involves high heat, pressure, and chemical solvents like hexane to get the oil out of the tiny seeds. This harsh processing can damage the oil before it even gets into the bottle. This new class of oils didn't just stay in cooking bottles on the shelf. They quickly infiltrated every corner of the food supply. Margarine and vegetable shortening were created from them. They became the base for nearly all commercial salad dressings and they were baked into crackers, cookies, chips, and breads to improve texture and extend shelf life. Suddenly, this unstable, highly processed ingredient was everywhere. We now find ourselves in a world where we are surrounded by an ingredient that, without our knowledge, may be a primary driver of our daily pain. It's hidden in plain sight, in the healthy salad dressing we pour over our greens, in the whole wheat crackers we snack on, and in the restaurant meals we enjoy. The question we must now ask is, are we unknowingly fueling our own arthritis with every meal we eat? The time has come to put a name to this hidden enemy. As a rheumatologist, the single most important dietary change I implore my patients over 60 to make is to identify and completely eliminate a specific category of cooking oil from their lives. The relief that can be achieved by removing this one trigger is profound and often surprisingly fast. This is not about a fad diet. It's about removing a known inflammatory agent from your system. The oils that I beg people to throw away are the industrial seed oils high in omega-6 fatty acids. Specifically, this includes soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, and canola oil. These are the most common cooking oils found in kitchens and in processed foods across the country. They are cheap, versatile, and have been marketed to us for decades as the healthy choice. A tragic misdirection in nutritional history. The fundamental problem with these oils is that they cause a massive and dangerously pro-inflammatory imbalance within your body. Our bodies require a delicate balance between different types of fatty acids to function correctly. These industrial seed oils completely disrupt that balance, flooding our systems with an overwhelming amount of one specific type of fat that directly promotes the chemical reactions that lead to inflammation and pain in our joints. Most people purchase these oils for very practical reasons. They have a neutral flavor, they are inexpensive, and they have been on grocery store shelves for our entire lives. We've been told they are better for us than butter or other traditional fats. We use them to fry an egg, to vegetables, or to bake a cake, completely unaware that we are introducing a substance that is actively working against our body's well-being and contributing directly to our chronic pain. To be clear, the problem is not omega-6 fatty acids themselves. We do need a small amount of them to live. The problem is the colossal, unnatural ratio in which we now consume them. The sheer volume of omega-6 we get from these oils, compared to the tiny amount of anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats in our diet, creates a state of constant, systemic inflammation. It is this overwhelming imbalance that turns a necessary nutrient into a powerful driver of disease. Removing these specific oils from your kitchen is the single most impactful and rapid step you can take to begin lowering your body's overall inflammatory burden. Before you try any supplement, before you start any complex diet, you must first stop adding the primary fuel to the fire. It is a simple, direct action that can yield remarkable results in how you feel, how you move, and how you experience your life each and every day. To understand why this works, think of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids as two opposing teams inside your body. The omega-6 team, which you get in massive doses from oils like corn and soybean oil, is responsible for producing compounds that start the inflammatory fire. The omega-3 team, found in things like fatty fish and flax seeds, produces compounds that put out the fire. Both teams are necessary for a healthy system. The problem is that our modern diet has given the fire-starting omega-6 team an enormous army, while the firefighting omega-3 team has been reduced to just a few lone soldiers. We need some inflammation to respond to injuries and infections. But when the fire starters outnumber the firefighters so dramatically, the fire never gets put out. It just smolders endlessly, day after day, causing collateral damage throughout the body. Historically, the human diet contained a ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids that was somewhere around 4:1, or even as low as 1:1. This maintained a healthy balance. Today, thanks to the ubiquity of industrial seed oils in our food supply, the average Western diet has a ratio that is closer to 20:1 or even higher. This is a recipe for chronic or tough-control inflammation. For your joints, this imbalance is catastrophic. The excess omega-6 fatty acids are converted into powerful pro-inflammatory molecules like prostaglandins and these chemical messengers directly signal your body to initiate an inflammatory attack. They increase swelling, they sensitize nerves to feel more pain, and they promote the breakdown of the precious cartilage that lines your joints, accelerating the arthritic process. Furthermore, the very process used to create these oils makes them even more harmful. The high heat refining and chemical solvents used can oxidize the delicate polyunsaturated fats, creating free radicals that cause cellular damage. The process can also create small amounts of artificial trans fats. Even if the label says 0 grams, these damaged fats add another layer of inflammatory stress to your system, making a bad situation even worse. The scientific lesson here is simple and direct. When you choose to cook with soybean oil, corn oil, or sunflower oil, you are not using a neutral ingredient. You are actively consuming molecules that provide the raw materials for your body to manufacture more pain, more stiffness, and more joint-degrading inflammation. You are, quite literally, adding the building blocks of your own suffering directly into your frying pan. Now, you might be thinking that throwing away your bottle of corn oil is an easy fix, but the challenge is that this is only the first step. The true difficulty lies in recognizing just how deeply these inflammatory oils have penetrated our food supply. They are the preferred fat of the processed food industry, and they are hiding in countless products that you might be consuming every single day without a second thought. Take a look at margarines and buttery spreads. These products are, in essence, just industrial seed oils that have been chemically altered to be solid at room temperature. They are often marketed as a heart-healthy alternative to butter, but from an inflammatory perspective, they are one of the worst offenders you can have in your refrigerator. Reading the ingredients list will almost always reveal soybean or canola oil as the primary component. Next, examine your pantry for bottled salad dressings, mayonnaises, and jarred pasta sauces. These are major hidden sources of inflammatory oils. To make them creamy and shelf-stable, manufacturers use huge amounts of soybean or canola oil. It is almost always the first or second ingredient listed. That light vinaigrette you thought was a healthy choice is likely dousing your salad in a flood of omega-6 fatty acids. The snack aisle is another minefield. Crackers, chips, cookies, granola bars, and packaged baked goods are almost universally made with these cheap, inflammatory oils. They provide the desired texture and act as a preservative, extending the shelf life of the product. Even seemingly healthy whole-grain crackers or organic cookies often rely on sunflower or safflower oil, continuing to feed the inflammatory cycle. Eating out presents an even greater challenge. The vast majority of restaurants, from fast food chains to many fine dining establishments, use large jugs of inexpensive blended vegetable oil for nearly all of their cooking. They use it for deep frying, and as a base in their sauces and dressings. It is the most cost-effective option, but it means that even a seemingly healthy grilled chicken or fish dish could be cooked in a highly inflammatory oil. The most powerful habit you can develop is to become a vigilant label reader. Your new mission is to scan the ingredients list of everything you buy. If you see the words soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, canola oil, or the vague term vegetable oil, you need to understand that this product is actively contributing to inflammation. Put it back on the shelf and search for a cleaner alternative. So, let's turn this knowledge into immediate, empowering action. I want you to walk to your kitchen with me right now, not later. We are going to perform a pantry detox. This is not about deprivation. It's about making a conscious and active choice to remove the things that are hurting you, creating a safe and healing environment in your own home. This is the first physical step toward a life with less pain. Your first task is to gather up every single bottle of soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, and canola oil that you own. Don't hesitate and don't think about how much is left in the bottle. These do not belong in a kitchen that is focused on reducing joint pain. Put them aside for immediate disposal. This single act is a powerful declaration that you are taking control of your health. Next, open your refrigerator and take out the margarine or any vegetable oil spreads. Turn them over and read the ingredients list. If they are based on any of the oils we just mentioned, they need to go as well. Do not be swayed by claims of being low in cholesterol or good for your heart. From an inflammation standpoint, they are a liability that you can no longer afford to keep. Now, move on to your condiments and sauces. Pick up your mayonnaise, your bottled salad dressings, scan the labels one by one. You will likely be shocked at how many of them list an inflammatory seed oil as a primary ingredient. Create a pro-inflammatory pile on your counter. These items are being replaced with healthier, homemade versions or cleaner store-bought alternatives. Finally, go through your snack cupboard. Look at the crackers, the cookies, the chips, and any other packaged goods. This is where label reading becomes crucial. Identify every product that contains these hidden oils and add them to the pile. It may feel like you are getting rid of a lot, but what you are actually doing is making space for foods that will nourish and support your body instead of attacking it. Take a look at the collection of items you have set aside. This may seem drastic, but I want you to reframe this process. You are not just throwing away food. You are removing a source of poison from your environment. You are creating a sanctuary in your own home, a place where the food you eat helps to heal your body, not harm it. This feeling of control and proactive care is a powerful medicine in itself. Now that we have cleared out the inflammatory culprits, we can fill that empty space with healing alternatives. We are going to restock your pantry with stable, healthy, anti-inflammatory fats and oils that will support your joints instead of harming them. These are the oils that should form the foundation of your cooking, providing both great flavor and powerful health benefits that work to calm the fires of inflammation. Your number one replacement should be a high-quality, extra virgin olive oil. It is rich in stable monounsaturated fats and, critically, contains a unique compound called oleoch. This substance has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects that are remarkably similar to ibuprofen, working on the same pathways in the body. Use it for low to medium heat and, most importantly, use it generously on salads and for finishing dishes. For cooking at higher temperatures, such as searing or roasting, your best choice is avocado oil. It has a very high smoke point, which means it remains stable and does not break down into harmful compounds when exposed to heat. Like olive oil, it is primarily composed of healthy monounsaturated fats, making it an excellent, joint-friendly option for all of your high-heat cooking needs. It is neutral in flavor and incredibly versatile. Another excellent choice is virgin coconut oil. While it is a saturated fat, the fats in coconut oil are primarily medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. These are metabolized differently in the body and have been shown to possess anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. It is wonderful for baking and for adding a subtle, pleasant flavor to certain dishes. Don't be afraid of this healthy, natural, saturated fat. Finally, do not forget about traditional fats like real butter, preferably from grass-fed cows, and ghee, which is clarified butter. These fats are much more stable for cooking than industrial seed oils and provide valuable fat-soluble vitamins. While they should be used in moderation as part of a balanced diet, they are vastly superior and safer for your joints than any bottle of highly processed corn or soybean oil. The key is to focus on variety and on choosing fats that are as natural and unprocessed as possible. You might use olive oil for a salad, avocado oil to roast vegetables, and a little bit of butter to cook your eggs. By making this conscious switch and using these joint-friendly fats, you are transforming your kitchen from a source of inflammation into a place of healing with every single meal you prepare. Changing your cooking oil is not a minor detail. It is one of the most powerful and direct interventions you can make on your own to fight joint pain. You do not have to passively accept daily aches and stiffness as an unavoidable part of life. Your task today is simple. Inspect your kitchen and make the decision to replace what inflames you with what heals you. Start with just one bottle. Leave a comment below telling me which oil you discovered you were using and what you plan to replace it with. Share this video with someone you love who also suffers from pain. For more practical tips from a rheumatologist for a life with less pain, subscribe to the channel. And remember, this information is for educational purposes, and you should always consult your physician before making significant changes to your diet.